Let's be real for a second. We live in a world that is practically designed to steal our attention. So what does it actually take to get it back? Today, we're going on a quest to reclaim what might be our most valuable resource, our concentration. And we're going to start with a number that might just change how you look at your entire day.
23 minutes. Just let that sink in. According to some pretty serious research, that is the average time it takes to get back on track after you've been distracted, every single time. Now just think for a second about how many times that happens in a day. It's kind of staggering, right?
And here's the real kicker. We get distracted a lot. Some studies show that in an office setting, we're getting interrupted as often as every 3 minutes. So that brings us right to the heart of it all, the big question we're tackling today. In a world that's basically built for distraction, how in the world do we even begin to win our focus back?
All right, so let's start with a modern battle plan. This is all about fighting back with a philosophy that's really designed for our crazy, hyper-connected world.
The strategy is called deep work. You might have heard of it. It's this idea that you can get into a state of pure, completely distraction-free concentration, and when you do, you can produce amazing, high-value results in way less time. Honestly, it's less of a productivity hack and more like a modern-day superpower.
Now, what's so helpful about this slide is how clearly it draws the line. Deep work, that's the hard stuff, the real thinking, like writing code, developing a strategy, or doing deep research. And shallow work, well, that's probably most of our day, isn't it? It's the constant ping of emails and chat notifications, all those meetings and little tasks. And the most crucial thing to get is this: you just can't do both of these well at the same time.
So how do you actually do it? It really comes down to creating a little ritual for yourself. First things first, just kill all those non-essential notifications on your phone. Seriously. Next, block out time in your calendar, like you would for a meeting. Mornings are usually golden for this. Then, turn on your device's focus mode. And finally, pop on those headphones. They're not just for music, you know. They're the universal sign for, please leave me alone.
Okay, so these digital tricks are great, for sure, but they're not the only way people have tried to solve this problem. About 100 years ago, long before Slack or email even existed, the quest for focus led to an invention that was, let's just say, a lot more direct.
And this perfectly illustrates what I'm talking about. Everybody meet the isolator. And yes, this is absolutely a real thing. It's basically a personal, soundproof box for your head, and it was designed for one single purpose: total, unapologetic, complete focus.
So let's take a closer look at this incredible piece of history, a focus helmet from 1925. This was one inventor's pretty radical answer to a problem that's clearly been around forever. It was invented by a sci-fi pioneer named Hugo Gernsback. The helmet itself was made of wood, and it was lined with cork and felt to dampen sound. It claimed to block out up to 95% of all noise. Your vision was shrunk down to a tiny little slit, so you could literally only see the paper right in front of you. There was just one, tiny problem. Users kept getting drowsy from the lack of air. Gernsback's solution? Well, obviously you add an oxygen tank. Of course.
And just listen to Gernsback's reasoning from all the way back in 1925. He's talking about getting distracted by the pattern on the wallpaper or watching a fly crawl along the wall. I mean, doesn't that sound exactly like us today, just with a smartphone in our hand instead of a fly on the wall? It just proves that while our distractions have changed, our distractible human brains really haven't.
But despite all the inventor's passion, the isolator wasn't exactly a commercial success. Only about 11 of them were ever made before the whole thing just kind of vanished a year later. A brilliant idea, maybe, but probably a bit too extreme for the average person.
Okay, but what if I told you that you already have an isolator helmet? You do. We all do. It's not made of wood and felt. It's built right into your brain.
This amazing built-in tool is called sensory gating, and you can think of it like a spam filter for your senses. It's a neurological process that automatically tunes out repetitive or unimportant stuff from your environment, so your brain doesn't get totally overwhelmed. So how does this actually work in real life? Okay, think about the humming sound of your air conditioner. The very first time it kicks on, your brain pays full attention to it. That's S1, the first sound. But a few moments later, as it keeps humming, your brain's response is literally cut in half. That's S2. Your brain has already figured out, okay, this sound isn't a threat, so it just gates it out, letting you focus on what actually matters. This filtering process is absolutely vital. It protects our ability to pay attention and to form new memories. And the better your brain gets at it, the stronger your focus becomes. But here's where it gets really fascinating. This system is supramodal. What that means is that training your brain to ignore sounds can actually improve your ability to maintain visual focus. It's all one big interconnected system.
So, we've got these external tools like apps, and we've got internal tools like sensory gating, and they're all designed to help us block the world out. But what if we've been looking at this whole thing backwards? What if the highest form of focus isn't about shutting things out at all, but about turning our attention inward?
And that brings us to the final stop on our quest today, where we're going to move beyond just productivity and even beyond neurology to explore the mind itself.
I love this quote because it completely reframes this internal journey. It's not just about sitting quietly. It's about being an explorer, an astronaut of your own consciousness. It's a creative and adventurous act.
This image here gives us a kind of visual map for that inner space. It's a way to conceptualize it, showing these different layers of our awareness, from our busy, everyday thoughts on the surface down to deeper, more subtle states, all connected to a central core of who we are.
So how do we access this inner space? Well, through things like meditation or even sensory deprivation. And here's the really crucial insight. The goal isn't to empty your mind. That's a huge misconception. The goal is to become a witness to your own mind, to be able to participate in your thoughts while also observing them without getting swept away.
So you see, in this final frontier, the very definition of focus changes. It's no longer about concentrating on a spreadsheet or writing a report. It's about focusing on the very nature of awareness itself. So we've gone on quite a journey, haven't we? From a simple productivity hack to a wonderfully bizarre 1920s helmet, from the neurology inside your own brain all the way to the cosmos within your mind. It just goes to show that the simple desire to focus can lead us to some truly profound places. And the only question left is, where will your quest take you next?